Hi guys, Robbo46 here, welcome yourselves to a tips video for MotoGP 22 regarding the new RHD ride height device. If you don't know what the ride height device is in MotoGP, maybe you're new to the series or you don't know that much about the technical aspect of MotoGP. So the ride height device is a device that the rider can activate and deactivate, which basically lowers the rear of the bike. In real life at the moment they have one for the front as well, but in the game it's only the rear. It basically lowers the rear, locks it in place, that lowers the centre of gravity, which helps with acceleration at corners and also helps prevent wheelies as well. And obviously if you do it in the correct places you can make up time, but if you do it in the wrong places you can lose a lot of time or even crash. So what I'm going to be doing today is just going through what I've kind of discovered in the MotoGP 22 preview, just to give you guys some tips for the RHD in MotoGP 22. So what I found is, I mean, it will make sense to some people. It might be, you know, pretty obvious to some people, but basically, coming onto a straight, you definitely want to use it coming out the final corner. Also, hairpins as well is a very good time to use it. The thing is, in the game, so you activate it by pressing Y or triangle, depending what platform you're playing on, or what controller you're using on PC. That then squats the bike down. You can't deactivate it unless you're under heavy braking. So you can't just press the Y or triangle button again to deactivate it. So you've got to bear that in mind. If you're using it and then you're coming up to a corner where you don't need to brake very hard, it's going to stay activated, and that is going to affect your line through the corner, which I will show you some examples in a bit. If you got it activated through a corner, basically you run wide, you understeer, and sometimes you end up going off track, which is obviously not ideal. So it can be a hindrance if you use it in the wrong places, but if you use it in the correct places, then yeah, you're pretty good to go. It's just kind of getting used to using it. When I first started trying this preview, I did find sometimes I was doing some laps and I was like, oh hang on, I haven't even used the RHD yet, and then I started using it. I'm like, actually I can get out of this corner without wheeling. Qatar probably not the best example for wheelies. I mean, the bikes don't wheelie too much coming out the final corner on MotoGP 22 compared to 21. 21 the bike was always trying to wheelie coming out the final corner, but they seem pretty planted. As you'll see here, I think the front tried to lift up once with not using RHD. But a better example is over at the Chang International Circuit, or Buriram. So this track has a lot of hairpins, including the final corner. So this is without RHD coming out the final corner. You see the front lift up once, twice. That obviously affects your drive going forward. You lose a bit of speed. I go wide through turn 1, but again, coming out of turn 1, the bike again wheelies there. But with RHD enabled, you go through the final corner. I had a better line this time as well. Got it enabled, and the front of the bike stays on the ground, which, you know, gives you better drive at the corners because you're not trying to keep the front end down, or the electronics aren't, you know, kicking in to hold you back and keep the front end down. And then we'll look at that side by side. So into the final corner, and you'll see with it on compared to off, you get a much better run out. The bike isn't trying to lift itself up in the air. And again through turn 1. And even down to the next corner, which is another quite tight hairpin. Again, just trying to keep the front end down. It's great for starts as well, for you know, a race start. But yeah, this is the other hairpin, which again can cause you to wheelie. That actually forced me a bit wide with it off. So an example at Mandalika, I enabled it here, but you got two quick right-handers and it just sent me wide onto the curbs, and because this suspension is already compressed in the rear, it threw me off. Whereas comparing it to you not using it through this sector, you can take a much better line. You don't go as wide. You know, you can take much more speed through the corner, and yeah, you're not ended up outside on the curb. Again, another example is the two quick right-handers. Now, you have to be a bit tactical with your braking through here. Again, I didn't do it properly, and you just see me running wide and messing up my lines and that. And then it finally deactivates, but yeah, I was already too wide. Whereas you can do it here. You just have to be tactical with your braking. You have to brake hard briefly, then it deactivates, then you can tip into the corner. So it can be done, but again, it's not necessarily the quickest way because you're having to get on the brake really hard. Another great example is the Red Bull Ring. Again, hairpins. First corner as well is another prime example of the bike trying to wheelie coming out of a first gear corner. And even with RHD, it even tries to wheelie there. Slightly different layout. We've got a chicane now. So that's something to bear in mind. It completely threw me the first time I done a lap around here on MotoGP 22. I had no idea what was going on. Wasn't expecting to see that. And then what used to be turn 3, which is now turn 4, is another example where the bike just wants to wheelie. But with RHD, you really do keep that front end down. So it is very useful if you use it effectively. If you don't use it effectively, it can really mess you up, your lines and your speed and everything. And the game is meant to automatically enable it at race starts. However, I did do a race at Phillip Island and it wasn't enabled, but I wasn't able to enable it before the race begun, so it just obviously squatted the bike down on the grid. So it's something to bear in mind. Just double check when you're starting a race that it is enabled, and obviously RHD is only in the 2022 MotoGP class. So yeah, that's basically my findings and little tips for the RHD in MotoGP 22. It would be nice if you could use the Y button to deactivate it again, but I have to wait and see what they do for the final game. But yeah, that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel for more content. I shall see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to stay safe, watch and look after yourselves. See you guys next time. See you!